Okay, it's for this tabletop review only. It will be for a limited time, but look down below and I will have a discount code for you guys at our web store, netandfancybigcartel.com. For a limited time, it will work on these most excellent T&P hats. Very good feedback from you guys having bought these, worn them. The best hat we've ever done, made out of Suplex nylon, two-tone gray. Shark patch is a perennial favorite apparently. We have patches, we have stickers, and we have a whole new shipment of Microtech halos. Okay, I made that part. We don't have any halos there. We don't sell knives. Just some merchandising. We do it rarely. We're not all about merchandising. It is actually a rare push that we do. I'm talking about we get new patches, new hats and stuff once in a while. Doodles is super busy with his career, as you can imagine. He runs the web store. I've told you guys that before. But for a limited time, I'm going to talk him into doing a discount code for you guys to push some stuff out the door. Be aware that sometimes, we've done this before, we will sell out of stuff. So if you haven't got a hat, you haven't got like the cool patches, now's the time. Now's the time. Also, thanks for thumbs upping, for commenting. I do go through your comments. Sometimes I don't have time to answer them all, but I sure appreciate them. Thank you so much. Thanks for clicking on the video, watching it. Make sure you hit that notification bell right there so you can know when a video is posted. And then if you feel like it, I still love you if you don't, but Patreon is active and it's doing well. I put it in a trial period last year, May of 2017. It's going great, and it's a smaller community. We have a lot of fun there, and there are special videos posted only for T&P Patreon members, and I do giveaways all the time, at least 5 per month. Watches, knives, maybe an occasional gun. A T&P'er yesterday got a Keltec SU-22 Patreon member. You'll hear about it on Patreon. Yeah, so that does happen. The watch for the review, by the way, is going to be a giveaway item. So I buy the stuff, I might wear it a little bit, and then I'm going to push it out the door. Not all of it, some of it, to T&P Patreon members. So this is a pilot watch. I want to say AW18 something. Look for the review. Watches, they'll probably go by the wayside, my reviews. I'm just going to review some. I got some more to go, and then I won't do any more. Enjoy them while they last. Enjoy them while they last. On the table, Remington TAC-14. Dude, this is an awesome combat shotgun, a compact combat shotgun, and the obvious comparison will be against what? That's right, the Mossberg Shockwave, previously reviewed, highly recommended here in T&P. We loved and still do love the Shockwave, really do. Thanks to Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store. Some of their contact information, what I'm allowed to put, will be in the description below. In Patreon, you will have the full description and website. So you can go there and drop them a line, especially my Patreon dudes. Just say, hey, thanks for supporting the show, for checking out the guns. We appreciate it. And then if you need some ammo or, you know, some boots or spurs, go to Gunny's Western Wear / guns. I'm just having fun with that, guys. I just think it's funny, the YouTube's policies. It's just funny how we're rolling along. It's just, I know, it is what it is. Enough said. But yeah, I reviewed the Shockwave. We really love that gun. I'm forgetting who the crew was. I think it was Jardine that helped me shoot it. Maybe Doodle helped me as well. But total win. I mean, the Mossberg 590 Shockwave, excellent. My only thing I would add to it is I kind of wish they built it on a 500. So it had a thinner barrel that it would be lighter still. Going against this gun, if my weights are correct, this one is 5 pounds 1 ounce, and I did get this one in 20 gauge, the TAC-14, and the Shockwave is 5 pounds 9 ounces, so just a little bit more weight. And I think that's apples to apples. I'm talking 20 to 20, but I might be cross-pollinating there and talking about a 20 to 12. I do like the 20 gauge, and I mentioned that in the Shockwave review, that might be the go-to cartridge. Thanks also, by the way, to some boxes, just a few boxes given to me by Federal Premium. Not a ton. Trust me, not a ton. We had, I don't know, 8 boxes, and the rest came out of our stash. But it's enough to give them a mention. Thank you so much for Federal Premium, in conjunction with Gunny's Great American Western Wear Store. And we shot plenty of these slugs. Then I shot buckshot out of storage, and then I think #6 birdshot is what we sent down the pipe on the Remington TAC-14. It does come in 12 gauge, does come in 20. Like I'm saying right here, and I did say this again in the Shockwave review, I kind of recommend 20. I do. There is a caveat, and I'm going to hit it in features, and maybe you guys know more about this than I do. Chime in on the comments, and if I find the right information, I'll add it to the description. I'll tell you what I'm talking about here in a minute. TAC-14, though, is a total win, and it's built on an 870. I guess we'll go into features right now, and maybe I bounce back to a little bit of philosophy of use, not too much. Being built on an 870, the big difference between that and the Shockwave or 590 series is that this is a milled steel receiver, not an aluminum receiver, which the 870s have always had. That is great by me, and notice that it's a little bit lighter, so there's a lot milled out, but it's a super strong action. Dual action bars like we've always seen in the 870s. It's so funny on the internet, you can find hate against everything, every gun. You'll find groupthink against everything, every gun, and there's plenty of it against the 870. I don't think much of it is that warranted in the big scheme of things. Let me explain what I mean. I think Remington has gone through several times where their quality control sucked. And I think some guys did get bad guns during that period, but they kind of left the brand forever. And I don't know if that's, I don't know, the most fair thing to do, because the 870s that I've tested here in TMP have been phenomenal, if memory serves. And I think they've been extremely reliable. I have reviewed the type specifically probably a decade ago. Showed it in a lot of run and gun. It's been an option. I did a whole Magpul edition to, actually, was that on the 870? I think that was actually on the Mossbergs. But they're both great shotgun brands. They really are. But the 870s, I'm a fan. I like them. I think they are police proven, law enforcement proven. You've seen that. Heck, for many years, there would be used police guns coming on market, and they were still serviceable. And scattergun technologies would actually they could actually take your 870, you ship it in, and it wasn't cheap, but they would turn into some fine shooting combat shotgun with ghost ring sights, a new finish, new stocks, scattergun technologies. They still may be around doing it. I haven't checked, but you could just provide them any old 870 and they would refurb it and turn it into a really sweet gun, bearing out the point that it's super durable. So if the foundation's strong, like a steel milled receiver, great action, then you don't have to worry about it, right? You just tune it up, clean it, and off it goes. They generally don't wear out. That's a receiver. More trim in a 20 gauge, lighter in a 20 gauge. There's your action release, just like it's always been. I haven't shot this enough where I would just push it and the action would open. The only pump shotgun that comes to mind right now that does that is the Winchester 1300 Defender. My 1300 Defenders, of course, they've had a lot of rounds through them, but I can just push this action bar and the action will drop open. That's how slick they are. Your 870 TAC-14 may get that way too if you shoot it a lot. Don't know. Plastic trigger guard, I have no problems with that at all. Trigger is pretty excellent. I'm not going to measure it because it's a freaking shotgun. And then we have the Shockwave Raptor grip, just like we saw on the Shockwave by Mossberg. And here we've got that very cool witness protection mod. That's what I call it. It's basically the not electrical, but athletic tape that I wrapped it with. And I'll tell you what, dudes, it works. If you have one of these, wrap it on just some inexpensive electrical tape, and it just gives you so much more purchase on the gun. And traction on both the back and especially the front can be a big problem, especially in 12 gauge firing full power loads. Buckshot, slugs, you better hang on, because I've seen videos where guys' hands are coming off, and not ideal. This is one of the reasons why this is legal. I did discuss this a little bit. Bye-bye, Halo. I'm going to put you over here. Look at how sick that thing is. Oh, I love that knife. This is one of the reasons why it's a legal gun. It's classified as a firearm, and that's because this is the only grip it's ever had on it, and its overall length is longer than 26 inches. So as Remington advises you when you get this gun, it is not legal, of course, to put on a different stock, because then you're turned into an SBR. You just run with this, don't make any changes, you're fine, it's completely legal. It's not classified as an SBR, which I think is phenomenal. Like I said in the Shockwave review, don't ask questions. Just enjoy it. Don't Don't text, don't email, don't write the ATF and go, hey man, why is this legal? Just keep it on the DL and just enjoy. Get it, fire it, and I actually like this grip. I said in some other short shotgun reviews over the years, one thing I don't like about vertically oriented pistol grips on riot guns, you know what I'm talking about, is they do transmit a lot of recoil to the web of your hand. To the point when I was shooting like the Winchester 1300 with a vertical pistol grip, 3-inch Magnum loads, even some really big pheasant loads, my hand would go numb. It would tingle for like an hour. You sure you were shooting shotguns then and not something else? I get you. That's a good one. Yeah, it was shooting shotguns. It'd go numb. This one actually distributes a recoil across the palm better. So it looks a little bit funky, but in action, this style of grip, specifically the Raptor grip, is great. I like it. It's not like ultimate for aiming. You do have to have a special technique, which I may discuss again. And then we have the Magpul forend. This is a benefit of this gun versus the Shockwave, says me. The Shockwave has a corncob forend with a retention strap, which is good, but you can't mount any accessories to it. This is MLOK compatible, so you can put a light on it. I wouldn't recommend a laser because it's not a stable platform, but a light you can. VG, I don't think you're allowed to put on these guns, so do so at your own risk. I don't think you're supposed to do that, but you know, whatever. I like this grip better, and you have kind of some flanges on the Magpul forward grip. I like that. Now, I did say some dudes' hands would come off during shooting. You're seeing our shooting video of the 20 gauge TAC-14. I don't remember our hand coming off, but I could be totally wrong. I'd have to review the footage. You know, not the worst thing in the world to probably add some skateboard tape or some traction material on this hand grip, and who knows, there might be a prefabricated kit to do just that already. It would be nice to have ultimate traction on this, so you really lock it in, because the name of the game when you're shooting shotguns is control. You don't aim them in the general direction, you have to aim them actually fairly precisely. A downside to this gun, by the way, and it is a disadvantage compared to the Mossberg Shockwave, is that it is just a 4+1 affair. That is unfortunate. So we have 4 in the magazine tube, 1 in the chamber, total of 5. The Shockwave is a 5+1. Now, the thing I was going to mention, if you get a 20 gauge, I don't know if you can get a +1 magazine extension for a 20 gauge. Brownells does have them for 12 gauges, and that would be very cool. Maybe a reason instead of the 20 you'd go with a 12 gauge Shockwave. Something to think about. And the reason I'd even consider that, I told you I love the Shockwave, and I do. Awesome. I'll mention this again in How Did It Shoot, is that I think smoother platform than the 590. I've pretty much always said that. I like the 590, but I don't think it's an ultimately slick pump shotgun. This, when we're shooting it, I mean, I told you that the action won't open under its own weight, but beyond that, dude, it's fast. It's very smooth shooting. It's 870. Not that the 590 Shockwave is a slouch. It's not, but it's not this smooth. For the smoothness, I would probably, and maybe the steel receiver too, and I actually like the top mounted safety on the Shockwave, but I can deal with this one. I actually am kind of leaning towards this one if it were not the 4+1 affair on the mag. And every round of shotgun that you have is important. Maybe go with the 12 gauge, get a +1. I think that's legal to do. I don't think you're breaking any legalities to do so. That's just my mileage. 4 goes really quick in this. Standard bead sight, and you can see what I did to it. I put some fluorescent paint on it, and I'm glad I did. It sits much lower than the Shockwaves. The Shockwaves sits on a much taller ramp. Some people do complain that it shoots, what is it, like really high for them, I think, on the Shockwave. I can't really remember for us. I thought it pretty much shot on. Not drilled and tapped on the receiver. That's slightly unfortunate. I wish it was. 2 3/4 inch shells only in this one, by the way. Talked about the fire controls already. It's 870, bro. Total 870. And that's it. Look how small that thing is, though, dudes. That is a short overall package right there. Now let me jump super quick to philosophy, and I mentioned this in a Shockwave, but I'll throw it here because I like it to be self-contained. What would you use this for? Is it my premier go-to riot shotgun? No. Not for me. I think it's niche. I think it's special purpose vehicular, probably. Maybe VIP protection, perhaps. But I've always said the shotgun should not stand alone. I think the shotgun should be in a layered system. So one guy has a subgun, one guy has a TAC carbine, another guy has a shotgun. And it wouldn't be this style of shotgun. It would be a stocked shotgun, probably a semi-auto, like an FN SLP, maybe a Mossberg 930, Jerry Mikulek, something like that. So, I mean, that to me is a go-to-war shotgun. This is niche. For home defense, perhaps, because you can outfit a light with the MLOK on the 870 TAC-14. Yeah, and I think 4+1, maybe the 5+1 if you get that to work for you. Yeah, home defense. Maybe better than a larger shotgun. But keep in mind, we can have a folding stock pump shotgun, which will really shorten it to where it's much more maneuverable, and you have the option of extending the stock for longer shots and more control. Remember, control is what you want when you shoot a shotgun. Speaking of which, we'll go ahead and morph into how did it shoot, since a short POU discussion is now complete. Like I said, slick and fast and fun. Everybody liked shooting it that got a hold of the TAC-14. The Shockwave's the same way. It really was. We did run, like I said, we ran birdshot through it for sure. We ran slugs and we ran some buckshot too, and it all worked great. I do hear some complaints that the Aguila mini shells are unreliable in this thing. I didn't have any to try, so you'd have to test that. And people would be wanting to do that because a mini shell is a shorter overall length. You're going to fit more in the magazine tube. It's kind of a shame that it's not working. One thing I forgot to mention is this is actually black oxide versus the Shockwave's matte blued finish. Either one would be fine with me. I keep my guns well taken care of. Like I'll put some rim oil on them if it's just a matte blued finish. But smooth and fast. Sorry I don't have any patterning for you with this gun. However, I have some in-field footage that you're seeing and have been watching. And I think that will give you the data you need of how it shoots. And speaking of how it shoots, technique is important. We did shoot the Shockwave from the waist, but we also had a Viridian green laser attached with a special mount on that one. Oh, it's actually on the top is how we did it, because that one is drilled and tapped, which I do like, Advantage Shockwave. This one, I actually experimented, even with full power, just 20 gauge loads, of bringing it up just like you did the Shockwave, and it's very manageable. You can hit well with it. Doesn't have a stock, but you can actually aim it with the bead sight. Worked great. And me and the crew were doing that and making hits. So we didn't really shoot this one from the waist because we just didn't have a way to aim. You could practice and get good with that, but I think that's more of a novelty than the way I would actually employ the weapon. Says me. Oh, by the way, this is a 1/72nd scale AH-64 Apache tabletop decoration, which I've been doing a lot lately. Guys seem to like it. Different aircraft discussion. These are cool. Utah Army National Guard flies these, and I'll tell you what, dudes, they are deployed a lot. I knew a guy that said, oh, I want to go fly Apaches, and I gave him a warning. Remember, I'm retired Air Force, 21 years, and I said, be careful what you ask for. You're going to be gone a lot, dude. Your young wife may not like it. Sure enough, he got what he wanted, became an Apache pilot, and he's deployed all the time. Haven't checked in with him for a while, but he was gone for like a year to Afghanistan flying the Apaches. Yeah, it's a lot. And then we have the beautiful Steyr M9A1. Still promoting this gun. It's gotten traction. I mean, I reviewed it last year. I started talking about it, and now I see a lot of reviews on the Steyr M9 series, or the Steyr 9mm series, like the L9 as well. Great gun. I'm glad to see that it's gaining some traction. So now we go to the part, would I buy it? The answer is absolutely, I would. The Remington TAC-14. But Netton, you said it's a niche weapon. It is, but it's really fun, and it's really cool, and yes, I wouldn't mind having one in certain vehicles. I wouldn't. I don't know. It's more of a second cool thing, to be honest with you. It would not be the first gun I would grab if I knew some confrontation was coming. It just wouldn't. But I'll tell you what, if you connect with this like a 20 gauge slug, that's a lot of lead coming at you, even though it's just 20 gauge. But look at it just comparison to, I don't know, 7.62 7.62 51. That's a lot more lead. Close range, ooh, hard hitting gun. Yeah, I would buy it. It's totally worth it. It's a great gun. Remington did a good job with it. I hope Remington survives for all their reorganizational problems. Yeah, they've had some flops come out. They need to get back to their soul. Remington does. I think this gun, the Remington TAC-14, represents the best of Remington's soul. It does, because it's going with a proven, very proven design. Heck, over 11 million 870s sold over the years. It's smooth, it's fast, it seems to be accurate. Really, the only downside is a 4+1. That's about it. Nothing fancy. See ya.
What do you think so far?
I love it. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I'd totally buy this, especially in 20 gauge. How about you?
I'd buy it.
Yeah,
I think that definitely has a purpose, you know, as far as like we talked earlier, truck gun.
I'll probably buy this
one.
one.
In your car, motorcycle gun.
This thing's wicked.